Today I thought of talking about death. Yeah. A very happy topic. Let's try to understand the way the Buddha looked at the death which is inevitably going to happen for every one of us. Yeah. And in fact, none of the things or none of the people who were born on this earth could escape from this eternal or everlasting ending of the physical body. So, in the Buddha's eyes, the death happens to the body, not for the guest inside the body. Buddha says, you are a guest. You have taken refuge or taken a body on the basis of a rent. One day you have to leave this body. So the death happens for the body, but you don't die. That's the idea. But our problem is, all what we know is the body. What is beyond the body is something unknown to us. We don't know nothing. We know nothing about beyond this body. So when the body dies, we think we die. But as a Buddha who went beyond, way beyond this body, he understood, though the body dies, you don't die. So the death happens to the body. He says, Ayu Usma Chavinyanam. There are three things bound to leave at the moment of the death. Ayu, the longevity. The longevity of the body is gone. The body lives no more. It starts decaying. It starts getting or becoming food for the worms. Longevity is gone with the death. Then Usmacha, the heat, the warmth of the body is gone with the death. After hours of a death, if you touch a dead body, ice cold. If somebody died in a very non-suitable manner for a coffin, if you want to make up that body for a coffin, you have to break the hands and legs to prepare the dead body, because it gets that cold since the heat of the body completely gone. Then the most important factor is gone, Vijnanam, the consciousness. Whatever you name it, you can call it a soul or a self. In the Buddha's language, Buddha called it Vijnanam, consciousness. That consciousness is gone. And that consciousness cannot exist without a body. Why? That consciousness, all what it knows, all what he knows is only the body. Beyond the body is something unknown to the consciousness. So that consciousness bound to grasp a body. Now, with experimentations of near-death experiences, people tried to explain their experiences once they come out of the body. Many of them have said that they felt like going through a tunnel, a dark tunnel, and then they come to a very bright place, or they come to a state that they are floating above the body, something like that. They try to explain. But all of them, as the last saying they have told, that though I tried to explain what happens after the death, this is not exactly what happened. I don't have words for that. The ineffability is there to explain, because the words are limited to the 3 dimensions. Beyond the 3 dimensions is something unexplainable, since we don't have those words. And many have also explained that they were hanging around where they were living after even they got out of the body. People who went into coma and came back after days of their coma, they have told that they were hanging around. And while they were hanging around, they met even the people who died before them. But in the Buddha's explanation, between this life and the next life, there is no interval or intermediate time. No. As soon as this life is over, the next life begins. If you throw a stone to the sky, there is a place for this stone to fall. So according to the karmic energy, positive or negative, that you bear, there is a place on this earth, or bound to this earth, for you to start a new beginning. No intermediate time. This intermediate realm between this life and the next life, that the consciousness is hanging around, waiting to be born, is taught not in the Theravada Buddhism, but in the Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana, Vajrayana, they are talking about this intermediate realm. And also since Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism got influenced from the Mahayana Buddhism, that their practices have come into the Theravada practice. Now when somebody passes away, in the Theravada practice, you do meritorious deeds like a dana to the Sangha community, listening to a Dhamma talk. You perform these meritorious deeds after how many days? 7 days. After 7 days you do this. Because Sri Lanka, though it is a Theravada country, it was influenced by this Theravada Buddhism, was kind of an attack, came from Mahayana and Vajrayana during the periods of Vattagamini Abhaya, by the times of Polonnaru era. During these times, now if you go to Sri Lanka, these stupas like Abhayagiri, Jetavana, big stupas, they are built not in the Theravada temples, but in the Mahayana and Vajrayana temple. Yeah. So their teachings were very much powerful in those days in Sri Lanka. They taught our people, our ancestors, your timing is wrong when you do merits, to transfer merits for your ancestors. You have to do 7 days, and then after 3 months, then after yearly basis, on yearly basis, you do merits. Why 7 days? Because they said when somebody dies, he will be rotating around in his intermediate realm, looking for a place, suitable place to be born. Then on the 7th day, they will take that birth. They will be born, or they will be conceived in that particular birth, particular life. So as a support for their better birth, you do merits on the 7th day. Now, Buddha says, no, there is no such thing. Yeah. As soon as this body you live, you will take into another body. You will get into another body. There is no waiting time. Yeah. This life I selected, actually I didn't select. This life just happened to me. Yeah. If I had a time or had a chance to select, I would have born directly in America, and why waiting, trying and working hard to get visa and come here? Yeah, why I have to go through that great struggle to come here? I would have come here by birth. This life or every life on this earth happens as an accident. Birth is an accident. Accident in the sense that we never have a selection, or we don't choose to be born in particular place to particular parents. No, we don't have that selection. We don't have that choice. It is something choiceless. It is an accident. Why? It is according to the karmic energy that you generate just before your last thought moment. Last thought moment, we call it chuti chitta, last thought moment. Just before the last thought moment, if you generate a certain energy, positive or negative, bright or dark, according to that energy, your next life is decided. Not the whole set of meritorious deeds that you performed in the past life. Those meritorious deeds or those sinful deeds will come into the support of your life later. But your birth is decided. Your next life is immediate next life is decided according to the last karmic energy, final karmic energy just before your last thought moment. Right? And if a person who is about to die is so weak, he cannot think. Usually you are not capable of thinking in that period, in that last period of our life. Final moments of our life is something very, or something beyond our control. We are more into the past than to the present when we are getting older and older, getting closer and closer to our departure. Past is more prominent to us than the present. We are oblivious to the present. Past is more obvious to us. So past accumulated something can come onto the surface when we are about to die. We don't know. We don't have that choice. If something good comes, that's good for us. Yeah. See how helpless we are in the decision of our next birth. But Buddha says, if you have achinna karma, what is this achinna karma? Habitual karma. If you have performed good things as your habit, usually habits are very powerful. They come onto the surface without our command, without our even notice. They come onto the surface. So if you have a powerful habitual karma, good or bad, those things are naturally coming onto the surface level of the mind when we are getting older and older. Yeah? So there is no something called complete helplessness that we can shape our mind with the good actions, verbal, physical or mental. When they become habitual or when we are transformed with those good actions, naturally they will become so powerful, and when we are getting closer and closer to our departure, they will be prominent to us. Our past is full of good karma, so why worry? They come onto the surface. And the death is the most dangerous thing, most fearful thing in the world. People are fearful of many things. We have all sorts of fear in this world. All the fear, all types of fear based on one particular thing, one singular thing, that is losing, missing. All types of our fear is nothing but losing. Losing for job, failing an exam, losing our wealth. Yeah. All the fear, you name, you can think of any type of fear that you have. Ultimately, the background, the behind what is going on is the fear of losing. Death is the moment that you lose everything. Once you are losing your physical body, everything around this body is going to lose. That is why the death is the moment considered as the most fearful thing in the world. But the Buddha's idea of death is something happening moment to moment, moment to moment. Though we name the death as the death which happens at the ripe of our age, as the losing of this physical body, Buddha says, your death is to happen moment to moment, moment to moment. He says, this body is a mountain of cells. The nature of these cells is to arise, give birth to another cell, and to pass away. Then he told us how fast this happens. He says, at the time of the snap of your finger, or blink of an eye, or at the sight of a lightning in the sky, at this speed, at this fast, the cells in our body arise, give birth to another cell, and die. This arising, giving birth to another cell, and dying is nothing but our growing up, our changing of the physical body. Now, when we were born or when we were conceived on the mother's womb, the very first day, we were just a cell, invisible to the normal eyes. Yeah, and we were growing up day by day, little by little, with the food that the mother is taking. We were growing up. And after that, with our birth, we started taking food. If you happen to have taken photos of your life from the age of 1 until now, when you look at that first photo of your life and the present photo of your life now, Can you have any kind of relationship between this? What happened to that baby? What happened to that 5-year-old boy or girl? What happened to them? Buddha says, those bodies are gone. You did not know that those are dead and gone. This is a brand new body. And this body will also not last forever. This body is also dying moment to moment, moment to moment. That is why Heraclitus, he said, one man cannot jump into a river twice. He says, if he jumps second times, the one who is jumping for the second time is a completely new person. Buddha says, one man cannot jump into even one singular river twice. Second time he jumps into a different river. Even the river is changed. The man is changed, the river is changed. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. What is this change? Arising, existing, vanishing. Upada, Thiti, Bhanga. Arise, exist for some time, and Bhanga, destroy. What is this existence? In the Abhidhamma, the Abhidhammic teacher said, existence is almost not existing. Yeah, it is like you throw a stone to the sky, before it falling down, there is a moment of waiting in the sky. That is your existence. So it is not something existing. So only the arising is and vanishing is there. Arising and vanishing, arising and vanishing. So we are living a life, or we are in a body which is arising and vanishing, moment to moment, moment to moment. Yeah? As Heraclitus says, we can also say that the people who came to listen to the Dhamma are no more. Completely different, completely new people are here. New in the sense what? Those physical bodies are gone. We have new physical bodies. Only thing, we cannot see the difference. We cannot see this change. Our eyes are not that sharp enough. The difference is to be seen after years. Only after years our eyes can be seen, can understand the difference. Okay, this person has become so different, has changed so much than I saw him for the first time. But our eyes, so weak, they see only this difference happening after years gone. But this difference, which is to be seen after years, happening moment to moment, moment to moment, with the rising and vanishing of the cells. So Buddha's understanding is that the death is to happen moment to moment, moment to moment to our life. And finally, one day this body is bound to become something that unlivable. You cannot live in this body anymore. Then what you have to do? Get out of it. Go into a new, brand new body. If you have not given up the attachment to the body, you are bound to come back to the body. This is the nature of the mind. This is the nature of the consciousness, vijnana. Yeah? If we haven't trained our consciousness, our vijnana, to live without a body. Now, in the meditation, we know that there are existences in the hierarchy of the existences. There are Brahma realms where there is no body, no physical body. If you are to be born there, it doesn't happen naturally. You have to train your mind to exist without body. dependency of the body is gone. Only that type of people can be born in the realms where there is no body, no physical body. Unless, if there is no such a train, everybody bound to come back to a physical body again and again, again and again. Yeah. And the teachings of the Buddha is directing to what? Directing to Nibbana, Nirvana. If you explain this word, Nirvana, Nirvana is the Sanskrit word, most famous one, very famous. I was in Malaysia sometime. There is a funeral parlor, multi-million franchise, funeral parlor series. Their name is Nirvana. Nirvana funeral parlors. Yeah. Very famous term. But the Pali word is Nibbana. Meaning is, Vana is what? Attachment. Vana is to be attached. Nir, destroy. Now, Buddha cannot explain what is happening after the destruction of the attachment. After the destruction of all the attachments, what happens? He cannot explain. It is beyond explanation. Nirvana. But he tried to explain what is Nirvana. He says, Tanhakkayo Nirodho Nibbana. Tanhakkayo, tanha, craving. Kaya, destroy. Nirodho, utterly destroy. Remove, get out of it. If you get out of the craving, absolutely, that is Nibbana. That is Nibbana. Right? So, for the Buddha, death is a teaching to help us to minimize our craving, our attachment to it. So, Buddha says, if you are to think about, ponder about, reflect about death, that is a meditation for you. And that meditation will help you even to become Sotapanna. Extreme winners are born by extreme winners have arisen meditating on death, reflecting on death. Yeah. So the death is something to be reflected upon continuously in the Buddha's teaching. Yeah. That's why, we forget about meditation. When we do our offerings to the Buddha, we offer flowers, right? What do we recite when we offer flowers? Pujeni Buddham Kusumena Nena. Anena Kusumena, by this flower. You may be offering thousands of flowers, but the stems are just one flower. By this flower, Anena Kusumena, Buddham Pujeni, I offer the Buddha. Punyena metena nachahotu mokkam. By the power of this merit, etena punyena, by the power of this merit, nachahotu mokkam, may I achieve the mokkam, Nibbana. Right? You offer flowers and you aspire Nibbana. Now, you don't stop there. Puppam milayati yatha idamme, kayo tatayati vinasabha. Yatha. As if, idam puppam, this flower, beautiful, full of fragrance, beautiful to see. Yeah. Idam puppam milayati. As the time passing by, it fades away. We can witness ourselves. By the evening, what we offered in the morning, that beautiful flower, all beauty gone, it has decayed. Yeah. It has been gone, all the fragrance and the beauty gone, decayed. Tata, likewise, mekayo, this physical body, vinasa bhavam yati, going into the destruction. Now if you do it with understanding, for a simple moment, you think about death, right? I am also going to die one day. So the reflecting on the death helps you to understand or think about this inevitable truth that you are going to face. For what? What is the purpose? Purpose is letting go. To be getting more and more detached, less and less attached. Physically? No. Mentally. What matters is mental detachment, not the physical detachment. Physical detachment is something, can do, but if you are not detached mentally, it doesn't work. There were monks, even during the Buddha's time, like Prince Nanda. He was a prince. He was ordained. After the ordination, he was thinking about his past palace, his unwedded wife, the life in the palace. He was all about thinking all those things. And Buddha had to bring him to one of the heavens to help him to overcome this attachment to his palace and the wife. Material letting go is okay, but it is not complete if you haven't mentally let go. Mental letting go. Buddha says, even though you are keeping with those things, you still can let go mentally. That is why even the lay people, lay followers of the Buddha, they became stream winners, once returners, Sakadagami, and even non-returners, Anagami. They could achieve until the third level of the saintliness, sainthood, until the non-returners, they could go. Because while you are living at your home, keeping all these, you can practice this beautiful, happy, blissful concept and transform yourself with that, which is called letting go. Actually, it is let it be than letting go. Letting them to be. Now, let me tell you a story. Once Buddha was standing in front of the Jetavana monastery. Jetavana monastery. That monastery is not a small temple. It's a very kind of a very big temple, because it was built by a millionaire spending around 540 million gold coins. 540 million gold coins were spent to build that monastery, to buy the land and to build it and to then to offer it. 540 million gold coins were spent. So must be a beautiful palace-like place. And Buddha was at the gate, standing there. And he saw a drunkard, coming or walking, passing the Buddha. Then this drunkard, when he saw the Buddha, he wanted to walk straight. You know what happened when a drunkard tried to walk straight? He cannot do that. He fell in front of the Buddha. In the mud. In the muddy water he fell down. Then the Buddha wanted to, this drunkard wanted to overcome his humility. How do you usually overcome such a situation? You laugh at someone else. You humiliate someone else to overcome your own humility. Then he tried to humiliate the Buddha. He said, you know, this monk, he always tells others to give. Yeah, of course he tells others to give. In the 10 meritorious deeds, dana is one. In the 10 perfections, dana is one. In the triple meritorious deeds, dana is one. In the duties of the kings, dana is one. Everywhere, generosity, giving, dana, always one. Yeah. So he says, this monk always tells people to give, but he is living in a palace. It seems he doesn't want to give up that palace. He tries to humiliate the Buddha. Then the Buddha said, living in a palace without being attached to the palace is more grateful than living on a garbage bin dreaming about a palace. Do you understand this? What matters is detached. You are detached. You have no attachment to it. Of course, he lived in such a detached manner. He was not attached to anywhere. He was offered all those beautiful temples. But sometimes he was living under a tree, in a cave, in a cemetery. Though he was having palaces like temples everywhere, he selected himself to be not to be attached to anything. What matters is you are not attached. He didn't reject those beautiful temples. No, he didn't reject. Time to time he lived there, but he was not attached. This is the Buddha. We cannot become like Buddha, of course. But we can practice this. We can train our minds to reduce this attachment a bit to the things we have, to the people who are with us, to the materials we have. Why? Why this detachment is so important to us? Because our happiness is dependent on this detachment. More attached we are, it means more unhappy we are. Aren't we? If we can practice this or train this concept, okay, though they are with me, they are not mine, for the time being, they are with me. I will take care of them. I will sacrifice for them. I will work hard for them. But I know they are not mine. As long as they are with me, let them be. I will take care of them. But I know they are not mine. Because once when I am dead and gone, they are gone. And those things also can vanish even before me. So to deal with this idea of my and mine, to deal with this ownerships, ideas of having or with the owning things, we can practice this letting go. Death is a very good teacher for that. When you think about, I am going to die one day. So what is the point of these arguments? These troubles I go through all the time. Yeah. How many arguments we have for useless, baseless things or pointless things? Only when the arguments is over, we understand for what I was arguing. Buddha says, in the stanza I selected, Buddha says, if any one of you thought about the death, those arguments won't happen. This is the incident. Okay? A story. There was a temple in the city of Kosambe in India. Once Buddha traveled there and he found the rainy season is coming in. So I am going to spend my rains retreat in this city of Kosambe, in the temple of Kosambe. But he couldn't do that. Why? the monks in this temple started a big fight. Not physical, verbal fight. The worst fight. Yeah. There was this mistake happened from one monk. He went to the toilet. The rule is, after you use the toilet, you have to empty the bucket of water completely and turn it over. Because those rules, they were minor rules. They were given to make sure that you keep that place clean and nice for everybody. Because it's a community place. Hundreds of people living there. But it is a minor rule. One monk, he used the bucket with the water, but he left the bathroom, left the toilet without emptying it or without turning it over. With the little water in the bucket, he left the bathroom. Now, these are the two groups who are living there. One group were master in the Dhamma, the other groups were master in the rules and regulations, Vinaya. This mistake happened from a monk who was master in the Dhamma. So the monks from the Vinaya fraction, Vinaya or the rules and regulations, they saw this incident and they started criticizing this monk. Yeah, these monks who learn only the Dhamma, they don't care about these rules and regulation. Yeah, they are not suitable even to talk with. Yeah. Now, when the monks from the rules and regulations were criticizing the monks from the Dhamma side, they were not ready to accept it. Yeah. And they were arguing back. Now, this is just a little water in a bucket at a toilet. Now they are arguing. Now their argument is going up and they are adding more and more information for it. Continuously arguing. Even when they go arms round, time to time when they meet, they throw all those dirty words against each other. Now this fight grew up. Even the Buddha heard about this fight and the Buddha summoned them and told them, you know, you are arguing over completely useless thing. Just let it go. Yeah. Once when you are gathered up in the hall, you can discuss about it and solve it. It won't happen again. They were silent for some time and after that they started again it. For 3 times Lord Buddha advised them, but they didn't listen. After that, Buddha decided, oh no, it is not suitable to spend my rains retreat in this temple. I better go. And he went into the forest in that country and he lived or he stayed that rains retreat. Remember, it is not like here. In India, raining means really raining. It is really raining for 3 months, continuously raining. And he spent under a tree in a forest in that three rainy months. Yeah. Because of these arguments of the monks. The people in the city, they had a lot of expectations. Oh, this year Buddha is staying in our city. Such a great opportunity. Yeah. To listen the Dhamma from him, to give him Dhamma. We have a great opportunity. But when they come to the temple, they found the Buddha is gone. And they understood these arguments of the monks is the reason for the Buddha to leave. And they decided, we must train these monks. Even the Buddha couldn't train them, or Buddha couldn't punish them, we will punish these monks. What is the punishment? No dana for these monks. Yeah. Now for a few days, the monks going for alms round, but no food. You know, when you are getting hungry, that hunger is the most prominent thing now. So all the arguments gone, now all got united. They went to the devotees and said, you know, we are not arguing anymore. Then those devotees told the monks, okay, we will offer dana to you, but we won't respect to you until you go to the Buddha and ask forgiveness from him. So after the rainy months, they went to the Buddha and asked his forgiveness. Buddha just said, Parechana vijananti. Many of people do not know. Maya metta yamamase. We just die here. We don't go anywhere else to die. Etta, here we die. Yeah? And there is no sequel for it, right? No sequence for the death. Can happen to anyone. Yecha tatta vijananti. If somebody understands this, Pare sammanti medagha. The arguments will vanish. Arguments will vanish if somebody understands that I am to die one day. You are arguing, you are fighting over trivia because you forgot sooner or later that you are going to die. Since you forgot it, you are arguing over trivia. This is what the Buddha taught these monks. So the Buddha's teaching about the death is something very positive for us. He says, death can happen any moment. No sequel, no guarantee. It is like the sword of Damocles can fall down any time, any moment. It can happen to anyone, anywhere. So what matters is carpe diem. Seize today. Buddha says in his language, appamadeta. What is appamadeta? To be mindful. Every moment be mindful. Every moment do not waste. Every moment get the best use. Live 100% in every moment. That is appamadeta. Yeah? Some says carpe diem. Seize the day. Don't let it waste. Make the best use of it, because you are not guaranteed that whether you are given or not the next moment, the next day. Every moment is valuable. Live this life to the fullest. Live this moment to the fullest. That teaching is given with the teaching, death can happen any moment. And also, we have to understand, our physical bodies decay. Yeah? Growing old, getting old is nothing but decay in this physical body. But there is a danger happening. That danger is when the physical body is getting older, mental body, that is craving, that is attachment, getting younger. Our attachment gets younger when the body is getting older. When the body is getting weaker, attachment gets younger. It means what? It means we will be not ready to leave behind. We will not be ready to let go. We won't be ready. When you are not ready to let go, that means what? You are trying to be imprisoned in this body, yourself. When you try to be imprisoned in this body, that means suffering for yourself and for others. People who couldn't let go, sometimes they suffer years. Have you seen that? Yeah, on the beds, vegetating, because they couldn't let go. If they have no grief karma from their past lives, if they don't have such a deposit of bad karma in their past lives, anybody could die peacefully. Anybody could get out of this body without much suffering. If somebody to practice this letting go, little by little in his life. Yeah? Anybody can die peacefully. When you compare the death and the rebirth, what is most dangerous? What is most suffering? Death or rebirth? Death can be very peaceful if you practice how to die. How to die in the sense, how to let go. But the birth is always suffering. 9 or 10 months in the mother's womb, swimming in that water, the suffering mother goes through, the child goes through. It doesn't matter whether you have merits or sin, you have to be there. You cannot have a short leave and you have to be there, you have to suffer. Birth is the suffering thing compared to the death. And the most birth is something unknown to us, completely strange to us. Birth is the dangerous thing compared to the death. Death can become a peaceful, a crescendo of life, the summit of life, if we are to learn this art of living for the moment, living in the moment. That's what Buddha is trying all the time, teaching the meditation. Yeah? Death can be the pinnacle of the life if we are to learn the art of living through meditation. And then we can let go. And sometimes remember, even after the death, people are not ready to let go, right? They are coming back. And we are scared. We are very scared of the dead people than the living people. The fear is what? Whether they will come back or not. That is why almost all the traditions have their accepted practices to stop this comeback. Yeah? Now in Sri Lanka we have what? When somebody passes away, when they carry the dead body to the cemetery for the burial or for the cremation, what do? Before the cremating or before the burial, they rotate this body, they rotate the coffin 3 times. 3 times around the funeral pyre or around that burial pit. Have you ever thought why they are rotating? Have you rotated that? Of course you have done that. Yeah. Why do they do that? Why this rotation? They rotate 3 times before they bury or before they put in the crematorium, to make sure that you won't return. Yeah. 3 times rotate. Now, Hindus, they do it properly, better than us. What they do is, on the way, at the junction, they rotate the dead body 4 times. A sleeping man, rotate 4 times and then go. Then he will lose the road. The road back to home. He will not know from where he came, from where he go. Yeah? To make sure, crying and weeping, please don't go, please don't go. They rotate, please don't come back. Nobody likes us to come back. Yeah? Nobody likes us to come back. Nobody likes their departed ones to come back. But if you haven't let go, if you haven't given up your strong attachment we all have, but sometimes we have strong attachment, right? Now in Sri Lanka, I know Sri Lanka, right? They say what? Some people, to make their living, their relatives to fearful, they say, I will not let go even I die. They say that. And they don't know the danger. They don't know the danger. If they haven't let go, of course they will come back. When they come back, they will come back as whom? They will not come back as God or goddesses. They will not come back as even human being. They will come back as a ghost, kind of a suffering ghost. Maybe hungry ghost. Hungry ghost is depicted as whom? Small neckline, like a needle line, small neckline and a pot belly. Now, can the pot belly be fed through a needle-like neckline? No. Needle-like mouth, always in hunger, always suffering. They come back just to suffer. Than the living persons, than the living people, they suffer. It can happen to anything. Now, I think I have told this story that once in the Buddha's times, there was a monk. He's a very good monk, very pious one, a very devout follower of the Buddha. He always listened to the Buddha, he meditated, and this disaster happened. One day, a devotee, being so happy with this monk about his behavior, he offered a beautiful robe with a, made out of kasi cloth. Kasi in India, Kasi is the area where they make the best clothes. Yeah, even today. Silk. They make silk there. Very valuable, very expensive, and very nice. Yeah. So this monk was offered this with this robe, a silk robe from Kasi. But it's just a robe. And this monk did not wear this robe. He just put it, he did not have a cupboard or anything else, he just put it under his pillow. He did not wear this robe at all. Now whole his life is half for the Dhamma, half for the robe. Wherever he goes, even in the Pindapata, even in the alms round, he remembers the robe. When he is listening to the Dhamma, the robe is half. For a day, few times he take the robes out, unfold it, looked at the beauty and put it inside. When you desire something unnaturally, people don't use them. People don't use them. Now I had a devotee in Sri Lanka. This guy bought a very nice car. And he even showed me that car one day when I visited his home. His wife told me that he never goes to his office with his car. I asked him, where does he go? Only to the gate. At the gate he get a taxi and go to office. Too much attachment to the car. If somebody scratch the car, that's it. You will die. Too much attachment causes people to behave such a silly manner. Yeah? He even didn't use the car. So just like this monk, he didn't use the robe. He put it under the pillow. And this monk got old. The robe is still under the pillow. He got sick. Robe is under the pillow. And he was dying. Robe is under the pillow. He died. Now where is he? Under the pillow, in the robe. Being a small bug, he was born as a small bug in the robe itself. You see, he was such a pious, very good character. Yeah? Practicing his moralities to the perfect. He was a nice person. He was a very good follower of the Buddha. All the good deeds, all the good accumulations he generated, pushed back, and this unnecessary attachment came forward. unnecessary, strong attachment came forward and put him in the rope, gave him the suffering as his next life. This is the danger. That's why Buddha says, tanha, craving, is your greatest enemy. Craving doesn't allow you to be happy in this life. Craving will not allow you. If you do not subside it, if you do not reduce it, the craving will not allow you to be happy even in the next life. Hence Buddha taught this beautiful teaching of death. He gave a brand new understanding, reflection on this idea of death. Removing the negative side, he asked us to take it as a positive thing, to live this life fully, to let go unnecessary trivia. If you just reflect about, I am going to die one day, you will find most of your worrying is gone. You are worrying over unnecessary things. This wisdom will come back to you. Why I worry about these things? I am going to die. Since we forget the death, like those monks in Kosamba city, fighting over a half full of basket of water, we are also forgetting this truth that we are going to die one day. And we are worrying over unnecessary things. Fighting over unnecessary things. And forgetting to live this life fully and perfect. That's why Buddha taught us to reflect on the death, that I am going to die one day. Again and again, and transform your life with it. Change your life with it. To a person who create attachment, from a person who is creating attachment to a person who let go. Mentally let go. Psychologically let go. Then that person is a happy person here, happy person hereafter. Okay? Yeah. That's enough for today. Sadhu. Let's dedicate these merits to the devas and the departed ones, and finish this talk. Akasatta chubummatta devanaga mahittika punyantam anumoditva chiran rakkantu lokasasana. Akasatta chubummatta devanaga mahittika punyantam anumoditva chiran rakkantu lokasasana. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahittika punyantam anumoditva chiran rakkantu lokasasana. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Blessings for you. Dukkha roga bhavera soka sabbe upadva aneka pi vinassantu ca tejasa. Jaya siddhi dhanam labham sotti bhagyam sukham balam siriyayu ca vanno ca bhogam buddhi ca yasava. Satavassa ca ayu ca jiva siddhi bhavantu te. Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevaca. Ato nibbana sampatti iminate samiccatu.